Where teachers might strike in 2019. Unrest over education funding and policy is brewing in several cities and states across the country. Teachers in Oakland, California are preparing. Here, let me see the date on this. Okay. They're preparing for a walkout on Friday. A potential strike vote is scheduled for teachers in Denver on Saturday. Teachers in Virginia will rally at the state capitol for more funding. In Indiana, teachers are lobbying the legislature for more money and may take action if they don't get it. Some Chicago charter school teachers will strike on February 5th if contract negotiations aren't resolved by then. The ongoing teacher strike in Los Angeles won't be this year's only uprising of educators pushing for higher pay, better working conditions, and changing to education policy. With more than 30,000 members of the United Teachers Los Angeles Union off the job since their strike began Monday, teachers from half a dozen public schools in Oakland, California are preparing for their own walkout. Meanwhile, teachers in Chicago, Indiana, and Virginia are all weighing various actions: formal strikes, walkouts, or other demonstrations. What we've seen across the country is teachers sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's a cool quote. Here's the problem, though. If you're a teacher, you're never not going to be sick. I mean that in a joking way. Because you go into a germ vacuum every day. Every day you enter a germ vacuum. It's students and their children, and they're susceptible. So it's just walking germs every day. One student gets the sniffles, you're getting it, and so is everyone else. No amount of hand sanitizer is going to do anything about it. Can't do anything about that sick part. It's inevitable. You can reduce class sizes. It's still going to friggin' happen. That's like the ultimate germ vacuum, the classroom. It's just the reality. That, actually, you know what's worse? Airplanes. Airplanes are worse. Because then you're in a condensed germ vacuum. Just a tube of germs just going, ah. I had to go on an international flight with a dude who refused to cover his mouth. He was coughing and sneezing the entire flight, and he refused to cover his mouth. And it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. He was just coughing, sneezing, and he was a grown-up. It's not like this was a child. He was a grown-up. And, you know, I was like, please cover your mouth. Please cover your mouth. Please cover your mouth. Please cover your mouth. And then eventually it was, cover your fucking mouth. And then he started doing it. Then he started doing it. And he really wanted a Diet Coke. That was the other thing, that this guy, he wouldn't get anything to drink unless it was a Diet Coke. And they didn't have Diet Coke. They had juice, tea, coffee, and water, which is fine. I got water. I didn't want coffee because I had no reason to be awake until we landed. But this dude, every time, was like, Diet Coke? Diet Coke? Like, no, we don't have a Diet Coke. We just told you what we have. And I was like, hey, he's annoying me too. He's coughing and sneezing and not covering his mouth. He was at the end of the row. My fiance was at the end. I was in the middle. Lucky me. He was at the end. And then another row was the person he was with. I don't know if it was his wife, girlfriend, sister. I don't know. He was with some woman. I think they were, at one point they were being kind of like affectionate. So I think they were together. But she didn't want to sit next to him. Gee, wonder why. Dude didn't cover his frickin' mouth. All right, just went on a rant about germs. And we're talking about strikes that are necessary for the good of our society. I don't know how we got there, but, you know, we're back. All right, what we've seen in this country, I like that quote. I like that. And they should be sick and tired of being sick and tired. His group is planning a rally for their annual lobby day at the state capitol on January 28th. That's coming up, too. Sarah Peterson, a U.S. history teacher in Richmond, we mentioned Richmond earlier in the stream today. That's serendipitous, right? And an organizer with the activist group Virginia Educators United says her group also supports Northam's plan. Cool. In Indiana, pressure from teachers has made teacher pay one of the defining issues of the current legislative session. All right. So we'll continue monitoring all of these the best we can. Looking at it bigger picture, though, and just kind of like summarizing with the theme, strikes are contagious. You know how we're talking about germ vacuums in classrooms and germ vacuums in airplanes? You know what's even just as contagious as those germs? Standing up for rights. Standing up for yourself. Strikes are contagious, and that's one thing that I think should give everybody hope. When you see a strike in one state, it doesn't stay there. It spreads, especially when the strike works. And that's why I'm really trying to take a more communal direct action direction. That wasn't an awkward phrasing at all. That was the worst phrasing I could have possibly said. A direct action direction actioning. I'm actioning more with the show. 5 people got new sons in the past hour, thanks to me. Did you know that? Fact. You guys don't even know. I was reading an article to you while I was simultaneously with my eyes. I was like, you, take this one. You, that other one. And everyone, like 5 people, they were like, thanks for the new son, Ron. And I was like, well, this is Get Your New Son with Ron. See you later. So anyway, I'm doing what I can. But no, that's why I want to take a more direct action. I should just stop. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I can't. But that's why I'm doing that, because when someone does something in their community, that's contagious. And that's one thing that really keeps me hopeful. No matter how thick the corruption is in electoral politics, no matter how dire situations look in, whatever's going on in our non-existent corporate media, our corporate media that is not a news media at all. You have a little bit of hope when you see people going out in their communities and going on strike, or standing up for a cause, or trying to do something about homelessness, or picking up litter even. Hell. And you kind of think, yeah, this catches on. You know why? Because deep down, we do give a shit. I'm in many ways, I consider myself a constructive cynic, meaning I do have some cynicism. But I consider it the realistic side. Like, I'll call out corruption where I see it. Not because I'm cynical, but because, I do realize that corruption's a thing. Because we've all seen it in our life. If you see it in your life on a small scale, it goes on a big scale. That's just human nature. We're flawed creatures. But we're also capable of love. And we also decided a long time ago that if we kind of participated with each other, we'd be better off. We decided that years ago. Years and years and years ago. If we didn't decide that, we'd still all be in trees somewhere. Which might be kind of interesting if we were all just kind of like naked in trees yelling. I'd get bored. I'd get really bored. So anyway, now I'm thinking about a life naked in the trees. I'd get more headaches. Look at me. I'm not meant for the sun. I guess I never would have happened. Like, people like me wouldn't have, like we're too pale. Like, we would have. So anyway, we decided to participate with each other. And that's what gives me a little bit of hope. And that's something to remember about these things. Strikes are contagious. Action is contagious. Causes are contagious. And I'm into municipal broadband. Why? Because I know if I can get it in my community, it's going to spread across Southern California. And if it spreads across Southern California, the rest of the country is going to take note. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your